We have been acquired in 2011 by Clariant, which is an international active specialty chemicals company, providing solutions in the fields of consumer care, industrial applications, plastic coatings, energy, resources, and biotechs. Clariant, it's over 100 companies worldwide with 22,000 employees. It's a Swiss-based headquarters next to Basel. We, as Performance Packaging Division, operate under one of the 12 business units of Clariant, namely the Functional Material Business Unit. Our core business, however, remains unchanged. It's all about providing safe environment for your drug product. We have been active in this business for more than 50 years, and our expertise is in designing, using, and marketing a full system of protection. And we will be discussing in the later course of this presentation what a full system of protection means. It requires combined expertise in designing the passive barrier and active protection. So, there's a very moist slide. It stands as a symbol for hydrolysis, which is known and has been known by the past as the most commonly encountered degradation path for drug products. Our discussion today will be focused on a more gentle way how to address moisture management inside containers. So, moisture protection has been one of the first tasks assigned to packaging when it comes about drug stabilization. Using plastic containers will not avoid that some residual moisture enters into the container over time when exposed over shelf. So embedding desiccant units in a pharma packaging has been known and applied since quite a few years. However, working with standard dosage units may not every time fit specific needs of your applications. This is why we developed the EQ line of products, which is to create a more balanced and more even moisture control inside packages. Before we enter detailed discussions about possible applications, advantages, technical characteristics of EQ-Pak, it's important, however, to remember how performance of an active packaging interacts with the specification that could be derived from the contents themselves and from the usage of a drug product. So, the first role of a packaging is to create safe conditions, safe environment. It requires combined expertise in designing a barrier and accurate knowledge about the substances to be integrated into the pack, such as to create proper headspace conditions. This animal here, we call it the monster. It's not really the scope of our discussion today, but it shows more or less all the technologies we are able to provide, helping to address stability issues on drug products. So our sales engineers, just next door, on my left, on your right, for those not sitting backwards, are ready to welcome you on our booth. You can see it from here. They are prepared to discuss more in detail about our product portfolio. Sorry, Mark. It is important to keep in mind that it is nearly impossible to assess the performance and the performance level of a packaging if we don't have a minimal understanding of the mechanisms leading to a loss of performance of pharmaceutical products. So if there are any formulators in this room, are they? They would tell us that... Excellent. So the formulation people would tell you that most of the stability issues can be addressed by acting directly on the formulation of the drug product itself. However, it may be an advantage for a pharmaceutical lab confronted to stability issues to involve at early stage of development some packaging specialists, because sometimes it may be quicker solution and more cost-effective solution to assign stability roles to the packaging itself instead of entering new reformulation of the drug product. So this is probably one of the most asked questions we encountered on the marketplace, is to tell, what is the protection time? What is the shelf life of a pack? And unfortunately, my most often answer to this question is to say, I don't know. Why? That appears pretty easy. If you have an absorption capacity of, for example, 1,000 milligram, an ingress rate of 1 milligram per day, quite easy to assess the protection time of. Anybody awake? Thank you. Yes, this may be true, but it's missing one component of the full system of a packaging, meaning it's the drug product which will set the acceptable limit for protection of the goods. For example, working with a silica gel as a desiccant means that the moisture inside the pack will increase over time when moisture permeates through the walls of the package and gets collected by the desiccant. And this is a smooth and slow increase. So where's the limit? Is it at 20 RH? Is it at 30% of humidity? Is it at 50? We don't know if we don't have a minimum knowledge about the drug product itself. So the point where delicescence of the drug product firstly occur would be important to answer the question of what is the capacity of a desiccant. So it is not an absolute value. Back to the barrier. Here the same applies. So the first function of the barrier is to isolate the inner space of the container from the outside conditions. So barrier properties can be recorded through, for example, moisture vapor transmission rate when it gets about moisture protection, oxygen transmission rate when we are discussing about oxygen protection, can create a barrier to light, to dust. It can be assigned the role of mechanical protection of the goods. However, even those values are integrating two dimensions. I have no time today to dig into this formula, but this tells us how many gas can ingress by unit of time for a given packaging. And so you can see that this formula already integrates some design attributes, which are the A stands here for the exchange surface, the size and dimension of the shape, clearly a design attribute. The X, the wall thickness. The bigger the wall thickness, the better the barrier, easy to understand. So this is clearly a design attribute. Now here, the permeation rate. This is a material attribute. Permeation rate will change from one material to the other. We have materials offering a good barrier to moisture, other materials offering a good barrier to oxygen. You can combine them in a multi-layer structure, and you end up with a product that you're invited to see over there as well, which is our OxyGuard bottle. But this is not only a design attribute. This coefficient will vary exponentially with temperature. So temperature and usage conditions play a critical role. The same applies here. This number stands for the difference in humidity between the inside and the outside. So it's not because you put desiccant inside a pack that moisture from the outside will ingress to the inside. It's simply because it's an uneven situation. Mother Nature doesn't like unbalanced situation, so it will tend to establish back an equilibrium. So moisture will enter anyway, being desiccant inside or not. It's only a question of time. The desiccant allows to push out the period of time where you reach higher humidity level inside your pack. So this clarifies why it is impossible to answer upfront, let's say, the question of what is my protection time, what is my shelf life, if we don't know about the drug product, and if we don't know about the usage conditions. This chart shows a very extreme example. It's the same container, but tested or simulated under two different conditions. An ICH long-term condition at 25 degrees and 60% of humidity, and an accelerated conditions at 40 degrees and 75% of humidity. So you see that even the barrier properties of the container has no meaning if it is not provided along with the condition of use or the condition of tests. Back to the active management of headspace atmosphere. So for example, desiccant solutions can be integrated in a pack by plugging into the pack desiccant units like canister packets, by having some integrated cell attached to the cap or to the body of the container, or even by injection molding when using some polymer-entrained desiccant that can be shaped in any possible shape. The role and the primary role of such active accents is to compensate for the packaging permeability. They will selectively remove oxygen or moisture ingressing the pack by absorbing them from the headspace. So what happens when using conventional desiccants is that the humidity inside the container will draw down very quickly to extremely low levels of humidity. You see on this chart the behavior of 2 grams of desiccant, silica gel, placed in different sizes of container. Even with the bigger container of 200 milliliter, you see that the drawdown is pretty quick and you achieve humidity levels below the 10% mark in several minutes. Such desiccant would as well keep these extremely low levels all over shelf life. This is a simulated chart showing how the moisture would change over time when long-term stored in a 60 cc container. So the red curve shows you that with silica gel, the moisture slowly gets up. This was the topic previously. It's not possible to assign, let's say, capacity of a desiccant if you don't know what is the limit here, which is fixed by the drug product. Using molecular sieve, on the opposite, will keep extremely low levels all over shelf life. So the question is this appropriate to store and protect your drug product? The limits which are to be maintained inside a container should be derived from the drug properties themselves. This is a first step down the path of quality by design. So ICH, the International Committee for Harmonization, defines the concept of a design space as a multi-dimensional combination and interaction of input variables that have been demonstrated to provide assurance of quality. How could we translate this to active packaging? The animation running here in the background gives you an idea about that. What we could consider as being the design space for our drug product is symbolized here by this circle. So we already know that very elevated humidity level will cause degradation of the drug products. Sometimes, however, too dry headspace may occur into some problems as well. Further, USP defines the stability of a pharmaceutical product as the extent to which this product retains the same properties and characteristics it possessed at the time of manufacture. What we do, however, when introducing a drug product with conventional desiccants into a pack is to change these initial conditions. Usually what happens is that you will see some moisture transfer from the dosage form to the desiccant. So it's not really relying on the definition of stability. This is where EQ-Pak comes in and may play a role. EQ-Pak is an engineered solution and are engineered desiccants which are able no more to fully dry out a headspace of a pack, but they're able to be adjusted to each and every water activity of the drug product. So this chart is an exemplary chart showing the behavior of different, let's say, EQ systems prepared to maintain 25, 40, 55% of humidity inside a pack. And the nice thing with it is that it works as well the opposite way around, meaning if you need to provide moisture to your pack, EQ-Pak will work as well. This graph here shows, starting from a very dry container, that it can be brought back to 40% of humidity depending on the material selected. So one example where this could find application is in storing and packaging hard or soft gel capsules. Even gel-coated tablets could fall under this application as well. We know that gelatin gets plasticized by moisture. So when you take out the moisture of your gelatin, you end up with a product which is very brittle. This could occur some problems when you try to fill a gelatin capsule on lines. It could as well end up with broken caps inside the packaging due to shocks at transportation, things like that. For soft gel capsules, getting the moisture out of the soft gel would result in a capsule which becomes hard, and you lose the advantage of the easy swallowness of such capsules. On the other hand, at high humidity level, caps becomes weak. There are softening that can even fuse together. Or what you can see on this picture here is that you have color from the red side of the cap, which migrates to the white side. So you can end up with some appearance problems as well. Hence, those products require special care for handling and storage. The simulation here shows you how 2 grams of EQ-20 would be able to maintain humidity inside a pack in a pretty decent width of humidity or range of humidity. This is simulated for a standard bottle, and it's only functional like desiccant. You see that this desiccant is able to maintain around 30 plus minus 10% of humidity inside a pack. The width of this band will depend, however, on moisture ingress of the pack. The higher the ingress, the greater the slope. And it will depend as well on the dosage of material. The more EQ-Pak or EQ-Can material you use, the tighter this range can be maintained over shelf life. Another example of application field is to be found in drug powder. Oral inhalation is more and more a common, let's say, way of administration of drug. However, to offer efficient delivery, you need to have a very tight distribution of your particle size. The particles need to get down into the patient's lungs, and the drug powder needs to get fluidized when the patient inhales. Excessive dehydration of such product would increase electrostatic charge of the particles, whereas on the other hand, excessive moisture can increase particle size because of moisture growth. So both of this would strongly disturb the efficiency of DPI devices. This is where our proprietary manufacturing method of EQ, along with very moisture-tight packages, like aluminum pouches, for example, can help to increase efficiency of such drug delivery systems. We are able, combining tight moisture packaging with EQ, to maintain extremely tight ranges of humidity level all over shelf life. So this shows again over 3 years what would be the moisture increase in an aluminum pouch using EQ. So, and to come to the end of this presentation, it is important to understand as well, or to know, that we have launched EQ based on an already existing and proven platform of products and desiccant containers. So EQ would be available in our standard canister size and packet sizes. This means that customers already running our desiccant products would be able to use EQ without modification of the lines. To conclude, I would like to insist again on the importance of considering a packaging system as a full system. So drug needs to provide the specification for the pack, But integrating a partner which is able to address both of the barrier and of the active properties helps to avoid multiple iteration between the proper combination between a cap, a container, and the right desiccant dosage is achieved. This can help to save time in development by avoiding costly failures in stability testing. You will find in client performance packaging a full platform of solutions addressing both of the question of the barrier. We have containers, vials, active packs, and the active substance. We are able to mix moisture management with oxygen scavenging without interaction between both systems. And again, we are just next door outside, so we'll be more than pleased to extend a little bit more on this platform of solutions. Well, thank you. If there is any question, more specifically about the EQ solution, I will be present as well on our booth all day long, so please feel free to come over and visit. I should conclude here. We started a little bit late, so I'm a little bit late, and all my apologizes for the next one. Thank you.